see where I'm getting. I'm going to get rid of all the forging scale, all the pitting gone on the side of the ricasso. Good. Reverse it to the other side. Now, I got both sides very clean. I'm getting down, the steel that I have now exposed has never been exposed to the atmosphere of the forge. And I've got a chart on my computer that says a steel that's got 1% carbon, which basically this is 1095. A steel with 1% carbon, the carbon migrates 19 thousandths per hour at welding heat. So as I'm burning up the carbon on the outside of the knife, the carbon that's below that actually sort of wants to migrate to that area where the carbon's burned out and wants to replace it. So I want to get down, I want to eliminate that burnout steel and get down to this steel has not seen, you know, the outside world since it came from the mill, which is what I want. But right now I'm going to check, and I really have no idea where I am. But I'm just going to check out here in the middle of my 250. Where are we? I'm pretty thick. Well, there is exactly a 1/4 of an inch. That is exactly 250 thousandths. And I'm getting thicker as I come forward, which is what I want. I want a little bit of a taper from the tang to the center. I want this area right here between my fingers to be the thickest part of the knife. I got to be able to slide my guard on. So the slot that's in my guard, this can't be bigger here than it is here. It won't be able to get the guard on. So I just want a slight bit of a taper. So I'm going to check my dimensions. I'm 260 thousandths. I'm 260 thousandths, which is a little heavier than I want. And I'm going to, again, I'm going to talk just a little bit. I live out here in the country. I'm a deer hunter. I got deer hunting buddies, and a lot of people complain. I won't say a lot of people complain, but I know that a lot of guys say they like a little hunting knife, little delicate little hunting knife, and I think, well, that's all fine and dandy. How much real world work do you do? Do you just do hunting where it's all nice and pretty and everything's wonderful? Because I'm stuck here in Illinois, which isn't the North Pole, but I got a couple guys that I hunt with, and they might show up here in December with a deer to dress. And of course, they've been hunting all afternoon. It's dark now. It's 14 degrees, and let's go to Carl's and dress our deer out. And who ends up dressing the deer? Well, here he is. So I bring out the hot water, and it's cold. We're doing it by the headlights of the truck, or I drag a light out. It's dark, and I'd just as soon watch the Outdoor Channel. So I want to get this deer dressed, and my hands are cold. I want a knife. I don't want one of these knives. I want a knife that I can find, that I can feel. I'm elbow deep in a deer, in the dark, on my knees, in the snow. It's 10 degrees, and I'd rather not be doing it. I want a knife that's going to get the job done. So I'm accustomed to a bigger knife, and I'm happy for guys that like less substantial knives. I don't make them. I make the knives that I like. I make the knives that I use. This is about as small a knife as you're ever going to get from me. And I also don't like them 100,000. The guys say, oh, thin is better, I want them thin. I go, well, then somebody else is going to have to make your knife, because my knives aren't thin. I get a hunting knife down to 220 thousandths. It's probably not going to get much less than that. But a 1/4 inch, 250 is a little heavy. Within across the width of this ricasso from top to bottom, I want it to be the same thickness from top to bottom, so that when I mill the slot in my guard, the two sides are parallel. I'm going to use my mill and mill it exactly to the dimension and the thickness that I want. I'm not going to mill it 3 or 4 or 5 thousandths short and then file it to fit. I think, why on earth would somebody do that? I see makers do that all the time. They go to their mill and they mill their guards so they intentionally don't fit, and then file fit them to finish it out. And I think, why not just mill it so it fits? But marketing, they can say, well, I sat there all afternoon and I file fitted my guard. And I think, well, you just wasted a bunch of time as far as I'm concerned. So I am within, across the width of that guard. Well, I'm not even close. I'm sorry, I take all that back. I'm within, I'm 5 thousandths off, and that's huge. The ricasso is 5 thousandths thicker than the spine. So here's what I do. It's all shiny. It's hard to see where I'm grinding. So I take a large marker that I get from Walmart, and I'll just mark this thing. I'll just mark it. I want to see, I have to remove, I forgot what I said. What's thicker? That's 17. Okay, the choil side of the ricasso is thicker than the top, so I want to see, I want to remove some from there. I'm just going to tip the tip. There. See where I've hit? Where I've removed the marker. Now I'm going to carry that. I'm going to carry that plane gradually up to the top. Holy moly. I'm within 1.5 thousandths now. I'm going to go to the other side, but I'm still a little heavy. I probably just lost everything I gained earlier, but we're too heavy. I wanted to get thinner. There we go. That's better now. Now I'm within. I've kind of screwed up my thicknesses. I'm 4 or 5 thousandths off again, but I was just too heavy. I was just too heavy, and I still got plenty of taper where I want to be. But throughout the existence of this knife, it's just going to keep getting thinner and thinner and thinner and shorter and narrower all along. It's never going to get any bigger than it is right now. So I'm going to eliminate this 36 grit and go to a 60 grit. It's going to take stuff off slower, going to put me in a little better control, and I'm going to really really dial these dimensions in where I want it. Get rid of those 36 grit scratches. Checking right about where I know my guard's going to go. I'm way off now. I'm almost as much as but it's fine. That's why I don't try to get my dimension too early. 8,000 off from top to bottom now, with my spine being way thick. So I'm closer to the dimension I want to be. I'm going to remove steel on the spine. You can see how I'm sending out the spine. Worked out real well because I got about half of what I wanted. I'm going to get the other half of what I want from the other side. Strong magnet. Now I'm within 3,000. Still just a little bit more. You can edit some of this out. I'm within 1,000th of an inch across the width of that knife. So I'm within 1,000th of an inch across the width of that knife. Now I'm going to get rid of the 60 and I'm going to go to 120. I'm going to slow my motor down and I'm going to really clean that up. I want that flat, flat, flat with very fine scratches. I'm going to do it by hand. I want to feel it. I want to see it clean. Still within, still right at about 1/1000th of an inch. 20.5, 21, 21.5, from 20.5, from 220.5 to 221.5. I'm within 1/1000th of an inch, and I'm thinner down here. You can see there it stops. As I loosen it, it just creeps up, getting thicker and thicker. Now, here's a dilemma that I've just created. I'm actually heavier out front than I am here. I want to eliminate some of that, which I'm going to do quickly and carefully, and try to leave the ricasso alone. We're going to go back to a 60 grit. We're doing all this for a lot of reasons. See how I've thinned this down. In the center. Woo! Oh yeah. A little bit more. About where I want it. Now I'm going to put scratches on the cutting edge around the perimeter of the knife. Now I'm going to spray this with layout dye.